Today in the crypto space, we see the market turning a bit red. Bitcoin down approximately 4%, Ethereum also down approximately 4%, and the altcoins obviously following the lead of these two heavyweights to the downside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Ethereum today, given the fact that the market is looking quite bearish and the overall sentiment in Ethereum is quite bearish as well. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish. It doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. What do we see here? Obviously, we've seen the overall market cap fall just a little bit, which means that ultimately, with some of this trading volume suggesting, yes, the market is in consensus, it's not a good look. Guys, it's not a good look. Market cap falling, volume increasing, suggests that the market participation agrees with this dip, and they're taking full advantage of this dip. And you can see that the negative pressure is definitely there with the sell pressure. So, guys, what could we expect? Now, at the end of the day, we could expect a bit of a bounce. We could see some recovery, some relief or something. But until that happens, until we start seeing some structure into Bitcoin's dip, maybe even Ethereum's dip, and many others, guys, we have to understand that the market right now is in sell-off mode in the immediate short term. I'm talking about short term. I'm still big picture bullish. We'll talk about the Bitcoin chart in a second. We'll talk about Ethereum, and we'll talk about where these two heavyweights are going in the next little while. But ultimately, guys, we have to understand that the market is looking bearish altogether. Let's scrape through the top 100 and give this a quick look. Ultimately, we do see that the market is, a bit weak in the sense that the top 10, look at this, BNB. What a good performance on BNB in this in the last little while. BNB is rolling over, guys. It's down 4.5%, right? So that's the reality. We have everything else related to Ethereum also down. We have Altcoin coming down. We can see that the market in general is down approximately 5%, give or take, as you can see it. Polkadot coming down 6%, and you can see that we're getting a bit of a dip here, guys. So the market is showing a lot of weakness, right? In the last little while, BitTensor Tau down 10.5%, guys. This is a big move for BitTensor Tau, obviously. Just understand that it's been rallying up for the last little while, and all those gains have been taken away in one big swoop. You can see that quick dip to the downside, 10%. That's a pretty good double-digit dip, right? Could we come down lower? Very possible. Everything related to Ethereum right now is obviously on a downturn. Arbitrum, Optimism, and many others. So we definitely have to keep an eye on, the whole Ethereum narrative. And this is why I chose to talk about Ethereum today. Obviously, we'll take a look at Bitcoin to see what Bitcoin's looking like, at the end of the day, giving us an indication of a continuation, using Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But Ethereum, at the end of the day, right now is on the topic of many people's, conversations and in their mind. What do we do with our Ethereum bags? Are you holding Ethereum? Should we be scaling into Ethereum? Am I selling off to, load up on other Ethereum-like projects that are Ethereum killers? Is that very possible? But guys, we know that when there's so much FUD and uncertainty and doubt, that is usually where, the market capitulates and we get quick reversals, right? Basically punishing those individuals that did not have patience. But the question is, did we have enough patience already here for Ethereum? Is Ethereum done? And of course, being a project that has been the leader in the game, obviously Ethereum brought us these smart contracts, paved the way for a lot of the other projects out there. This is important: proof of work, then proof of stake, and so on and so forth, and all these upgrades that made it deflationary, quote unquote. And we'll talk about all of that in a second. But at the end of the day, this is one of the issues. Do we scale into Phantom instead? Do we get into Solana instead? Do we start looking at other layer ones that don't require layer twos like Polygon and Optimism and Arbitrum and all of the rest? Is there a need to have layer twos, guys? And this is something that I've been talking about for the last little while here on the channel, guys. I don't like Ethereum because it requires a makeshift solution to make it better. Right? That's what the layer twos are. They're just a band-aid solution to improve Ethereum. But maybe we just need to rework the way we think about Ethereum. Ethereum could just be a layer of which it's just meant to basically, act like maybe a base layer and be done with it, right? And we need layer twos. In fact, projects should be built on the layer twos instead of the Ethereum layer. So this is something that we have to understand, that maybe Ethereum from its perspective of being used as independent chain, those days are gone. Right? Those days are gone. It's too expensive. There's too much. It's not scalable. And that's why we look for scalability in other solutions like Polygon and many others. So this is the thing here, guys. We can pick our choice. Look at a lot of layer ones coming out. The newer ones for this bull run, definitely looking pretty good. We have Celestia. We have Sui. We have many more, guys. Many more that definitely offer some good solutions to these issues that Ethereum has. The question is, are we ready to abandon Ethereum? Guys, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really compelled to look for other solutions. But at the same time, what about Ethereum, guys? Let's take a look at some of these charts. Let's take a look at some price action here. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the end of the day is in a scenario where it does look bearish, guys. I've been very clear about my stance on Bitcoin. If it gets rejected right around this level, I have no choice but to remain bearish, guys. And it hit it exactly, almost to the cent, like literally to the cent. We hit that white line below the 200 daily, and you can see we got a rejection. Now it's not over yet, guys. Just because we're taking a dip right now doesn't mean that we can't get a recovery, because we have done similar things in the past. And obviously we can look at previous price action to confirm this. Let's take a look. Now, at the end of the day, you can see, like, even right into here, or even right into here, we get dips, guys. Even though we're showing strength to the upside, we do get corrective moves to the downside. We get corrective moves to the downside. And obviously right now, after a nice impulse, hitting resistance, what did you expect, right? We're going to get a reaction. And this was a level of which I expected reaction. Why? Because we got reactions there before, right? So we have to understand this is an emotional level for a lot of individuals, right? We're hitting the 200 daily. We're hitting the horizontal resistance. Okay, we're going to take short-term profits. Individuals de-risking. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with de-risking when you're hitting horizontal resistance, guys. And all of a sudden, now maybe we start looking for support here on Bitcoin, and starting to see Bitcoin, try to break above the resistance in the 200 daily, right? We see momentum, definitely still looking okay. We can see the momentum lines still okay, still moving to the upside. A bit of a retracement, falling below the moving average. That's totally fine. Volatility maybe is going to get oversold, and then we'll go for another bounce to the upside and see what kind of strength the bulls have. In the meantime, we're going to have to be cautiously bearish, of course, very cautious and a bit bearish here, because we're getting rejected. And the question is, do we come down for that lower low, guys? I'm not willing to find out, so I'm not trading Bitcoin. I'm not touching Bitcoin. I'm just looking at it to see if we do get rejections along the way, expect that the altcoin market will fall. And you can imagine what has been happening the last little while because of this dip. Both Ethereum and the rest of the altcoins are obviously coming down. We scraped to the top 100. You notice that a lot of projects right now, on average, in that top 100 are down approximately 5%. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Guys, Ethereum is a little bit more of a scenario. Okay, obviously this is the chart. You guys know this chart, but before we talk about charts, let's talk about what's really happening with ETH in the last little while, guys. This is a Ultrasound Money. It's a website. Feel free to check it out, and we could see that at any given point in the last little while, we've been noticing that the ETH supply has been increasing. So it's not really, deflationary in a sense. We're seeing a lot of Ethereum enter the market, obviously diluting price. And this is something that's very, very concerning. Now, if we kind of, alter the time frame, let's see if I can do this really quickly here for you guys. We can see that after the merge, there was a point where it was deflationary. And we saw a good amount of transaction volume, and obviously the congestion was a bit there, but over time we have been seeing that we are definitely entering a period where there's a lot more tokens entering without the burning mechanism kicking in and actually causing it to, you know, the supply to come down. And this is what we rely on, is a burning scenario. And you can see the burning is not really happening here, right, in relation to the supply that's entering. So we have a constant supply without the burning mechanism kicking in as a percentage of the transaction rates. When there's no congestion, there's very little transactions. When there's no transactions, we're not burning, but with supply is definitely entering. So what we want to do is see the market pick up in general, so that we can see some transactions happening on Ethereum, so that ultimately we can increase the burning rate. And as the burning rate increases, you know, supply exits circulation and so on, and then that we start to see deflation. The problem is that we haven't been seeing it in the last little while, and this is not a good look for Ethereum. You know, dilution of price, and that's what we've been seeing in the last little bit. And of course, we have Vitalik, you know, selling some. Few million here, a few million there, and that is all obviously bringing in a bit of uncertainty. And obviously the uncertainty in these times, is particular in these times where we see Ethereum desperately trying to hold support, is not a good look, right? So this is something that we really have to understand, is that anything that looks negative with regards to Ethereum is going to be exaggerated. It's going to be confirmations for those bears to insinuate that ETH is dead. Right? And the question is really, is ETH dead? The largest ecosystem out there, and a lot of projects relying on the virtual Ethereum virtual machine, you know, it's very hard to believe that it's going to be going away. But if you look at what's happening here, ETH versus BTC, meaning the flippening, guys, if you know, following the flippening is basically, could Ethereum eventually flip the market cap of Bitcoin? Guys, that seems a bit far-fetched in the way we are right now. And you can see since ICO 10 years, there was a point where Ethereum was going at it, and since then it kind of, you know, basically from 2018 we've been struggling. Ethereum's been struggling, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Bitcoin is definitely the powerhouse. We get it. We know Bitcoin's a value proposition. And in fact, I feel like this is a bit deceiving in the sense that we shouldn't be comparing ETH and BTC and Bitcoin. We shouldn't be comparing ETH and Bitcoin. They offer totally different value propositions. They're different. They're very different and similar at the same time. Their technology is similar, but their application and utility and use case is so different, to the point that it's not really fair to compare them in this way, in my opinion. Obviously, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Should we be comparing ETH and Bitcoin, or should we be moving on from that concept and understanding that ETH and smart contract platforms are in a different class of their own? And so is Bitcoin, obviously. Now we can see gas. You know, gas fluctuates here and there. We're at 22 on average, 22 Gwei. Now, what is that really worth? And I remember the days where gas fees were through the roof, hundreds of dollars and all of that. In the last little while, like if you put in the average of about 24, according to this website, you go in right into here, and 24 Gwei is nothing, guys. What's going on? I don't get it. This is like almost like too good to be true. To be honest, I don't transaction Ethereum, so I don't really know, because I avoid gas fees at all costs. But this seems like a little bit too low in my book. Like, what's going on with ETH? And to the point that whenever we know there's large gas fees, high gas fees, we know that there's congestions, a lot of people using the network, and that's usually a good sign of a healthy network. But then again, not healthy, because the gas fees are crazy, right? And of course, they're scary. So this is something that we got to understand, is right now there's no congestion, there's no transactions, there's nothing happening. It's pretty much dead in the water. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Now, there are obviously projections with regards to the supply, and this is really interesting, because as we got into the proof of work removal, proof of stake, and the burning on the London fork and all of that, we expect eventually for the supply to eventually flatline or even diminish. Flatline would be good enough for many of us. So as long as we hold steady at a constant supply based on the burning mechanism counterbalancing the supply that enters. But right now we know that the supply in the short term is not doing its job. That burning mechanism is not doing its job. But we know that there's peaks and valleys. We know that there's ebb and flows. We know that there's ups and downs in the market, including even, the burning rate based on transaction volume. We're potentially still in a very bearish period in the market where we're not getting a lot of volume. Now, your argument could be, well, what about Solana? What about this? What about that? There are projects that have a lot of transaction rates. Of course, they don't have no gas fee, very little gas fee. Let me correct myself. Very little gas fee. Fixed supply, no necessity to have a deflationary mechanism type of thing. So this is something that we really have to understand. And that Ethereum's suffering at the current moment because we're relying basically on their burning mechanism to make sure that we have the supply controlled and fixed at the end of the day. We have obviously TVL, where's the TVL, total value secured. We have obviously Ethereum's the leader in this regard. A lot of different assets basically holding TVL, which is necessary to have a very strong network and securing the network and securing the liquidity on that network. And we know that a lot of projects, EVM compatible projects, try to tap in to Ethereum's liquidity, right, through the EVM compatibility. So these are very important topics going forward. Now, if we kind of reflect on what I'm saying here and we go back to the price and we start to say, well, the price is quite low from a evaluation perspective, we know that basically Ethereum seems undervalued, extremely undervalued, because Ethereum ultimately has all the cards in its favor. However, guys, the competition is very strong, and if Solana is very interesting. Even BNB is so interesting. The reality is BNB offers a lot of value here as an EVM compatible chain, but at the same time lower gas fees and still tapping into Ethereum's liquidity. So this is also very important. Now, does Ethereum have a chance? Does Ethereum have a chance at this level? Let's take a look at this. We do have an empty space, a bit of liquidity here that could be hunted. Obviously here at the point of control, right around that $2,000 mark, we have some previous highs. Could we fall lower here, guys, and then eventually get some sort of wedge? And guys, that would be definitely the scenario where it would keep me interested and obviously a bit concerned. If we do start falling, we have many nodes of volume. If I look left, we have many nodes of volume that we need to rely on. We have this one right here. We have another node of volume down here, another node of volume down here. The question is, do we come down to these levels to hunt liquidity? This is the major concern, because we need to hold support right around that $2,000 mark. If it starts to hunt liquidity into here, we're going to see capitulations. We're going to see a lot of people selling on losses, and the sentiment is going to even be worse, if it could even get worse than it is right now. Good news is that in the past, every time we saw this bearish sentiment on Ethereum, we usually get nice reversal points. Okay, that's the truth. As soon as we see a lot of bearishness and weakness in sentiment on Ethereum, we start to see Ethereum wake up. Now, from a price action perspective, guys, this needs to hold. We're seeing bullish divergence right into here. Clearly, as we mentioned in the past, is it going to sustain? Is it going to hold? Are we going to see strength in this divergence? Are we going to get follow through in this div? We can see we got lows, and we got lows. These are higher lows in comparison to the price action, which are clearly lower lows. Now, do we move forward from this? Are we going to expect this to become a wedge, maybe continue coming down to a scenario like this, where eventually we do break out, hitting the $2,000 mark? Guys, I'm anticipating that. I'm preparing myself psychologically for it. But again, if it doesn't happen, where we do get a bounce, are we ready to start scaling into other altcoins, taking profits, maybe taking our long-term Ethereum bags and diversified it into other layer ones that have more potential, even more X values? For example, Solana, right? $60 million market cap, something like that, more or less. At the end of the day, it has a lot more room to grow to the upside and catch up to Ethereum. And could it even flip Ethereum? That's a good question. That's something that I'm definitely entertaining. Guys, I've been holding Ethereum for many, many years. My bags are very matured, and at the end of the day, I'm willing to diversify based on the fact that there's healthy competition out there nowadays. So maybe that's the case. Now, we do see that the momentum is also, and the trend is also moving to the upside. Clearly, look at this expansion, and look at the last two expansions, very, very weak, while the price action is still kind of dripping. This is class A bullish divergence on trend and also momentum. And again, horizontal support has to kick in here, because if it doesn't, guys, I'm not sure where we're going here. We're going to be hunting a lot of liquidity liquidity right into the price action looking left. And the reality is that's where the pain starts to kick in. And I'm not willing to find out. The reality is we need to start protecting our initial investments no matter what the sentiment is out there. But Ethereum needs to wake up. The market needs Ethereum at this current moment because it has the largest market cap out there. And if we want to see an altcoin season and see the Bitcoin dominance fall, either Solana, BNB, any other larger cap altcoin needs to quickly flip Ethereum, which is going to be a tough job to do, or Ethereum needs to have a quick reversal so we can see the Bitcoin dominance fall. Guys, join me tonight at 8 p.m. EST where we talk about crypto news and price action. We'll definitely take a look at Bitcoin dominance and any other charts you may have. Feel free to join and make those requests. I'll definitely put them in top priority. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.